I would like to introduce now former Winnipeg Blue Bomber and current TSN morning host, as well as someone who gives back to the community on a daily basis. Please welcome Troy Westwood.
I'm just gonna ask you please excuse me. If I'm overly emotional, just emotional here, it feels really, there's a weight. So I'd like to stand here as a man, and if I may, just apologize to sisters of the community and the families affected by the men in our community. The silhouettes behind and the many sisters and women, aunties, grandmothers, moms. Who are affected by this issue because of men. I don't know if it's okay for me to say this. I've asked a lot of my sisters in the community about this. This is a man's issue. If I have someone impose their will on me physically, emotionally, verbally, I don't have an issue. That person who imposes their will on me has an issue. Women are the victim in this situation. To me, if I may say to my sisters, with great respect, this is a man's issue. Men are perpetrators. And obviously are responsible for the violence here. And so what can we do in the community, those of us like in this room with like minds and like hearts? Well, we refuse to be silent. And the Silent Witness Project is a fantastic, one of many fantastic organizations and things that exist in our communities to try and shine a light on this issue as bright as the sun. So we as men cannot be silent, ever. And we need to take as much action on this issue as possible. And whether we're walking down the street, whether we overhear our friends in a hockey arena speaking, if we're in the workplace and we hear something that's inappropriate, if we hear our children speak, at all times we have to be vigilant about this. And some people don't like that I use the term war on this. We're pretty sure the families of those involved feel that they're in a war. To me, we as men, we need to declare war on this issue and do our best to minimize it as much as possible. So as a member of the community, as a man, I make a pledge, I promise. I've sat down across the country in different groups trying to, how do we reach as many men as possible? Who's the group that you reach to most firmly entrench the thought of being respectful, kind, humble, never violent, never verbally abusive, never emotionally abusive, to the very best of our abilities as men? Who do you reach out to? And to me, I think it's fathers. We any of us in here who are fathers, we can really affect our children a great deal from the time they can start to walk and talk. It's our responsibility, for sure, to pass on the teachings necessary to as many in our circle as possible to wage this war, to carry out this situation that we're in, to try and minimize its effect on our communities. So I ask the men in this room, and I know everyone in this room is of a similar spirit and mind and heart. Let's become very vocal about this. Let's wage our own war, if I may use that term, or whatever term we want to use, to promise one another and promise our sisters in the communities to be as vocal about this issue as possible. Silence is the ultimate enemy here, and we need to scream from the rooftops and pass the teachings on to the best of our abilities to as many around us as possible. Chimigwich, and much respect to the Silent and Witness Project and all the families and individuals in this room who've been affected in any way by this issue. Chimigwich.